So why can't Black Panther be the podiatrist? Why has he got to be going in your butt?
We're not recording, right?
Yeah,
We've been
yeah. We unfortunately
because you just need the right habits. Seriously, if you have the right habits,
with a mouthful of food.
I don't particularly need to be yelled at.
I need to test this out so I can try to relate to people who eat a lot of this food. And I tried an Oreo, and then I had the whole thing, and I was like, damn, that's rough. And then I had to take a nap.
Per every 100 calories, it has approximately 10 grams of protein. That's a good rule of thumb.
Don't worry about the weight for a bit, but just change your eating habits. What's going to happen over time is you're actually going to start to drop weight because those foods are going to make you feel more full. They're more nutrient dense.
I think Nsima could have been a professional eater.
Yeah, I think so.
I could have. I easily.
Did your mom used to get pissed at you about it?
Last time they brought 2 boxes of Lucky Charms, they were gone that day. Like, we cannot keep it in the house.
I think sometimes people think that if they got to a position where they were able to manage their body fat real well, that they would be like, I'm good.
But I did notice that I would get like really, really hungry when the fat was really low.
Remember, fatigue makes cowards of us all, so if you start to get tired, your decision-making skills suck.
Especially after the cold plunge. This is something you guys never talked about. When you're shivering, like, oh shit, look at my delts. And I'm like, ooh, my abs are pumping. Like, oh, this is nice. And then, look down even further and it's like, oh, okay.
Whoops.
Looked down too far.
Bye, wee-wee.
Yeah, it's gone. But yeah, anyway.
Suddenly turned into a woman. I have no penis.
It went inside out.
Where did it go? Is it tucked away somewhere?
Your dick's like, yo, that's cold.
Like, I hope it's thinking about me. I'm thinking about it.
Hello? Am I doing the show by myself?
You might be. We can get rolling right
Today's guest is John Nsima. You might not see him, but he's here.
Somewhere. He is...
Oh, yeah.
What would you call that sandwich right there?
So I think in this particular case, this sandwich that we're talking about, we have John Nsima, we have Marky Moo on our podcast table, and then what's the other guy's name?
Black Panther.
Oh, the Black Panther. So what I'm going to be speculating here is that the Black Panther is he's black, and he's a butthole doctor. So he is a proctologist.
Makes sense.
And in this particular,
that's what they're called?
Yeah.
And in this particular case, John Nsima is checking my feet. So he's a podiatrist.
Very good.
So they have some doctor practices. They're both trying to help me. One with the butthole and one with the feet. And I'm all for it. This sounds great.
So why can't Black Panther be the podiatrist? Why has he got to be going in your butt? Is there some weird thing you have with that?
Because he's on the butt side and his face
John's
is closer.
also on like the butt and dick side. Like,
yeah, he's on the dick side, but look, in his position though is more towards the feet.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, because look at Black Panther's got his nose literally in the butthole.
Yeah, the butthole is a more important area to work on.
You said you shave yours, yeah?
I have shaved it before, but it's not a great idea.
Got to be on the comeback, right? It's got to be pretty bad.
Why did you even make the choice to shave it is my question.
I was just shaving everything, you just just trimming everything around, and you just kind of just shave, But I don't think I never checked it out to see if it was spotless or anything.
You did.
Okay, it was
you absolutely bent over in the mirror.
No, I have done that before, but not in this particular case. I was like, there's a lot of hair down there. I'm like, Jesus, let me get some of that off of there.
Did it help with pooping? Because it's maybe easier cleanup.
It wasn't great for anything. It made walking more challenging. So maybe
because the grow back was itchy.
I think I was walking a little faster for a couple of days, and then walking a little slower for a couple of days, a little bit of friction.
Okay, so I see why I was walking faster.
And then there was a fire down there, and it's never been the same.
Yeah. We need a fire down there. Is that in
just because all the shrubbery just fucking rubbing together? It's fire season.
That's what I was going to say. That's how natural fires start. All the brush.
Mm-hmm.
You are a hairy guy, so you see
in
that hair on your
area.
chest.
In that area, I'm I can get very furry. I have some fur on my chest and stomach. Before I ever took anything, I didn't have any hair hardly anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, nothing.
You're like me. I barely have chest hair, and I have no hair anymore.
Yeah, we're a lot alike. We're both on tons of gear.
Fuck you.
That was funny.
That was a good one. But this makes me wonder, since we had Mike Israetel on, and like how
He's
he's
very hairy.
He's a bear. Like he said that he gets a lot of DMs from men that are like into that. He's got to be really hairy in the asshole. Like
That butthole.
No,
that shit. He has to shave that. It's probably like coming out of his cheeks.
If it wasn't for that, I'd eat his ass easy. But that's like the one caveat for me.
You have
I'm
a
like,
line. Yeah. You got to
trim it up at least.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's into that full range of motion type stuff. You know what I mean?
Hope you guys liked that episode, Dr. Mike. We had a lot of fun with that one.
that was so good.
He was great.
He's a ridiculous person. He's like a cartoon character too.
He is. He really is.
He's kind of cute. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, it's okay to say.
It's okay. Yeah.
How tall was he? 5'8", 5'6", 7'8", 250?
He said he'd be lying if he said he was 5'6". That's what he said.
Oh, okay. He's a little bit shorter. Okay, so shorter than us.
Hey, but he's 250.
250 though.
He's 250. He's a fucking tank.
The fact that he had a defense for getting fucked in the ass. All right, so for those of you guys who do jujitsu, Dr. Mike's defense for if he went to prison and someone tried to butt fuck him was, okay, yeah, come at me. Then when they try to get in position, he weaves his leg. Andrew, if you can see this,
a little bit.
Weave the leg behind that guy's leg. So his leg is now in between. Grab the foot. Boom, knee bar, drive it up, and then sit back and twist, and you break their knee while they're trying to get behind you to fuck you. It actually, technically, that's actually a great butt defense, a great rape defense. Mm-hmm. But he had that ready. Like he was like, "This is how I dismantle an opponent who tries to fuck me."
What I was going to try wouldn't even do anything. Probably, I was just going to try to tighten up the butthole. At this point, how tight is my butthole? Let's be honest.
You've squatted over 1,000 pounds. Like you can tighten that thing up. Really
but not only that, though, those deep cheeks. Like, good luck.
Yeah, you better have a hell of a piece on you.
You could always do I've heard it called as the lock and pull. So like as they're like basically already there, you just tense up, tighten up the cheeks, and then just thrust forward so you can
or just
pull
tense up,
right out.
grab, and
That too.
I like all these options. It might make the guy come a lot faster, which should keep him off your ass, right?
For at least an hour and a half.
We're not recording, right?
Yeah,
we've been.
Yeah. We unfortunately.
This is the first.
We're into the part of the day where Nsima has decided to eat, and there's just like no turning back.
Yeah, got Pop-Tart. I need to get this thing going, man.
And definitely spit the gum out before the podcast.
That'd be interesting.
I never do chew on the mic. Usually when I have gum in my mouth, I'm like, talk, chew back here. That's usually how it goes. But right now, I will take the gum out.
You're not trying to irritate people with chewing.
Or I will irritate people with chewing. Maybe if you just get the listeners used. It's ASMR. Just get the people used to the chewing. When they start to like it, they're like, what's this background noise? Ooh, it's chewing.
Subliminal messages.
What are you doing eating Pop-Tarts? You're going to get out of shape.
Well, 20 grams of protein, 5 grams of net carbs.
180 calories.
I'm good. 180 calories.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Legendary is really... Okay. All these channels going back and forth about who has the best protein bar. Fuck that. Because these taste better than that. Like, my protein bar is better than yours. Bitch, these are better than all of that. Like, real talk.
But
these
I
are
like
really
those
fucking
guys.
good. Man, I didn't even warm this up, but you can warm it up for like 15 seconds. Mm-hmm. Ooey gooey.
Plus, the owner, CEO, is like on a mission to like rid the world of cancer. Mm-hmm. Fuck, man, I'll pay into that system.
Yeah.
God damn.
You do have to be careful when you microwave them, even for 15 seconds, because the outside, you'll be like, oh, it's still nice and cool, but then you take a bite and like that filling is fucking fire.
That's why you don't let it go more than like 10 to 15 seconds. You go for 20 seconds, you're going to have fire in your mouth.
Yeah.
But 15 seconds, 10, 15, you're good.
But yeah, that stuff's incredible. And like, I did read a comment on the last one, like, how to get jacked part 1. And someone's like, don't eat pastries. Like, well, yeah, no, pastries in general. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be eating those if you are conscious about your body fat percentage. But these, on the other hand, what do we talk about? We talk about having higher protein, having easier protein sources that you can consume.
7 grams of fiber.
7 grams of fiber. And like I said, 180 calories for that whole thing. Like that can fit into anybody's diet like every single day. Now, and then it does have 20 grams of protein.
It's got that there collagen in it too.
Collagen.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's got everything. It's got all the good stuff. And if you guys want to, you guys have to check out legendaryfoods.com. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. And when you go and load up a bunch of tasty pastries, they do have a bunch of other like nut butters and stuff. But we are just huge fans of the tasty pastry. At checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save 20% off your order. Again, that's at eatlegendary.com, and links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
So rule 1 is don't snack, huh?
Rule number 2, put your dick in the box. Yeah. So this is what, jacked N10 or jacked? What
We're
do we
just
call
calling
it?
it jacked.
Getting jacked.
How to get jacked.
How to
Some
get
shit like
jacked. The habits needed to get jacked. What was the title of the last
that.
episode,
I'm
Andrew?
looking
You
for
have
it. Habits to get jacked without tracking. That was the first part.
How to
Yeah.
get jacked without tracking part 2.
Habits to get jacked without tracking part 2.
Jesus Christ, you're a genius.
He is.
Because you just need the right habits. Seriously. If you have the right habits.
With the mouthful of food.
I don't particularly need to be yelled at. I'm working on my habits. I mean, I'm trying.
Habitats.
I guess maybe I'm not really trying.
No,
You're
just
right.
try
You're
anymore
right.
because you have the right habits.
You're right. I got a lot of work to do.
Do you guys want the AC on? Are you good?
I'm good. Are you hot?
You good? You all right?
Is that
Air conditioner.
a wife trick?
No.
Wait, what do you
I
mean a
don't think
wife
so.
trick?
Like, you want to order dessert?
Do you want
Yes.
AC on, Andrew?
Yes, I'll get fucking
No.
dessert.
So this is the thing. Like you guys
You're
know,
wearing a sweater.
I'm usually the cold one, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of warm in here. So if I'm moderately warm,
Put on the AC.
then I know for a fact that you guys are probably way warmer.
I'm really good.
You're good. All right. Well, if you're good.
Yeah, I'm really good.
I feel okay.
All right. Well, there it is. It's settled.
Well, let's get to this. Habits to get tracked without tracking part 2. And one big fucking thing is actually not snacking. Now, I know I'm eating some snacks right now. I just had 40 grams of protein,
There you
right? And 10 grams of carbs. But the interesting thing is, like, when we talk about not snacking, in general, I don't snack during my day. And when I talk about snacking, I mean like foods that you're going to eat a lot of, or processed foods that you're going to eat a lot of. So a funny story, we made a video, and it's on the Super Training YouTube channel, where we raided Mark's house and found all these snacks in it. And I purchased all these like Oreos and Doritos and all these things.
You guys publish that? Fuck.
It's really good. People liked it.
Real quick before you go any further,
Go for it.
this is the first time, not the first time, but this has definitely solidified the fact that I know for a fact Nsima doesn't eat like just total garbage, because the snacks that he got, I was like, dude, did you go to like a discount store or something? You're like, no, I just went to the gas station and, just grabbed a couple of things. He grabbed like the worst. He grabbed like white chocolate caramel M&Ms. He didn't get like regular ass ones.
I got some Cheez-Its. I got some Oreos,
But, dude,
white
you got-
and double stuffed.
But you got like weird things that
I got
like
some
nobody
pizza
would.
Pringles.
Yeah, like some weird off the brand Pringles and shit. And I was just like, you really don't know how to get like good shitty food. And so I was like, damn, he actually, yeah, he's being honest there.
Andrew would come up with some shit that we'd never seen
Oh,
before.
yeah, no,
We'd be
yeah,
like, what in
absolutely.
the fuck is that?
Yeah, would have.
And Andrew knows the good shit. Like for what you told me about like your past and stuff. We had some of the Doritos in the trash can. And I was like, I picked a Dorito out of the bag and ate it. And Andrew's like, you warm it up, it's gonna be just like new. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what? He's like, yeah, if you warm up stale Doritos in the microwave,
They come
it'll be
back
just
to
like
life.
new. I didn't know that. That is
Yeah.
literally.
Andrew's a fucking food scientist, apparently.
But
I just ate like shit. Sorry, go ahead.
let me tell you how insidious these like processed foods are, like Oreos, etc. Because I packed all that stuff up and I took it home in a plastic bag, and it was just sitting on the dining table, and I was
Talking to
there,
you.
and because it was in the house, I was just like, let me see how insidious this can be. I need to test this out so I can try to relate to people who eat a lot of this food. And I tried an Oreo, and then I had the whole thing. And I was like, damn, that's rough. And then I had to take a nap. And this is the thing. I'm someone who doesn't, number one, I don't buy that stuff. I bought it for the video. But the fact that it was even there, it called to me. You know, I wasn't fucking with you guys when I said I can eat a lot of food. So I ate that whole fucking thing. I'm just like, God, yeah, this is why I don't keep this type of shit in the house, because I will 100% eat that shit.
You can see how shit slides downhill, right? Like you can some days you're like, okay, I'm going to go to jujitsu, or for me, I'm going to go run. I'm going to run at like I'm gonna run at like 2:30, and then I'll pick up Quinn because I've been super dad this week because my wife's out of town. What the fuck time is it, by the way?
Oh, no.
Oh shit.
Pick up Quinn.
1:15.
Oh, we're good.
Okay, good. Did I forget my daughter?
Yeah. Whoops. Forgot her again. Forgot that I have children. Well, it's just real easy to talk yourself out of it, and especially with that influence of like shitty food. Like if I was to eat something that's just a little bit off, that doesn't kind of fall in line with what I'm about to do next, which would be exercise, then I would be like, I'll just stay here, and then I'll go pick her up, and then I pick her up, and then it's time for dinner, and so on. And then it's like, well, I didn't have any time to get to the gym, and it's like, well, you sabotaged yourself. You have some junk food in the house. That's temptation. It's going to be easier to side up with that temptation. And what we're trying to communicate to you guys in general all the time on this podcast is how do we set up the habits that you're going to fall into and be stuck in? How do we make those more difficult when it comes to, eating candy and eating sugary things and eating things that we can all get excited about? How do we make that more difficult? And how do we make all the inverse of that? How do we make that stuff easier?
And that's actually why, that's why I do like these. Because number one, towards my goals, it's packed with protein. It doesn't have excessive calories. And these are actually very hard to overeat. Although they taste really fucking good, I can't put 5 of these down comfortably. I can do 2 to 3. And what is that? 60 grams of protein and 15 grams of net carbs.
Seems very reasonable to eat 2 of them because like maybe you have 2 different flavors. So you're like, yeah, I'll try this one. I'll try that one. That's good.
But past that, it doesn't feel comfortable eating more. But with Oreos, with Pringles, with Doritos, with any of these, like they're made to chomp, chomp, melt in your mouth, put more in your mouth. You want to eat more and more and more. That's why we don't fuck with this stuff. That's why I don't even tempt myself with it, because I know this is going to be really easy for me to overeat. And that's why you need to figure out in your house right now, what are those foods, whether it's granola cereal, whether it's anything that you tend to be like, oh, when you eat a lot or when you binge, those are the things you binge on. Those are the things that you need to get out of your house so they're not easy. You can't just easily get it. And I know that you can go to the grocery store and purchase this and bring it home, but that takes a level of foresight. That takes a level of, okay, I'm going to make the decision to go out of my way to go to the store to get this food and bring it back. That's a bit harder. And typically, if you have the right foods in your house, if you have good amounts of protein, if you want potatoes or whatever, these types of real whole foods that we talk about all the time, if you keep these foods in the house, chances are that you'll be like, okay, let me just try to make this or make this food instead of going out and making a bad decision. You actually need to think yourself through it,
I think something that I observed in just like, I don't know, this exploration of like eating and nutrition and stuff over the years is that, I agree with you heavily on the meals at meals type thing. And we should utilize snacks sparingly. I also think there's moments to just enjoy stuff. You go to a picnic, you go to a party, and you have equated for this scenario, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to have some chips. I'm going to, like my favorite part of going to a party, I love eating, the potato chips and this and that. Then go ahead. Like that totally sounds reasonable. And you can still utilize some of the information that we share, which is protein leveraging, intermittent fasting, or you can completely say fuck it for the day or two, but hopefully those other disciplines will come back in of walking and lifting and so on. But what I've noticed when it comes to a snack, I think it's a good rule of thumb. If it doesn't have approximately 10 calories per 100, it doesn't have approximately 10 grams of protein per 100 calories. I just noticed everything kind of working in these numbers of 10. So per every 100 calories, it has approximately 10 grams of protein. That's a good rule of thumb. And I say approximately because you could have like a cheese stick, and a cheese stick could be like, 80 it could be 80 calories and like 7 grams of protein or whatever, right? I think it's a good rule. So if you want to just snack and eat like an apple, there's absolutely nothing wrong with eating an apple, but maybe you have like yogurt with it, or you have something with it that has some protein in it. And even an apple by itself is satiating and functional because an apple has fiber in it. So you could potentially even just eat the apple, by itself. And when it comes to like fruit and those kinds of things, you don't need to get too stuck on those things because these are natural foods. And if you're doing a good job sticking with natural foods, again, you're not going to end up overeating. But something like these legendary Pop-Tarts, there's a lot of fake health products out there. And what I would consider to be like, I hate to say it that way, fake health, because I don't want to like make fun of or point the finger at particular companies that make products, because I think there's room for all these products, and I think it's great that people are trying to make things healthier. However, you can still end up overeating.
Yes. And
again, with these Pop-Tarts, these legendary tasty pastries, it's just more difficult to overeat them. They have a low, they're fairly low calorie. So in the options and in the things that you want to try to surround yourself with, if you are going to occasionally have a snack, because I think something like a tasty pastry at work at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 12:30, when you start to kind of feel like you're taking a nosedive and you get a little tired, would probably serve you really well. Would probably be fantastic. Then maybe at 3 o'clock you have an apple, and then maybe at 5 you lift weights. And then maybe that's your day, and you go home and you eat dinner and you repeat. Like that sounds fucking awesome. That sounds like a healthy plan. So try to stick to that 10 grams of protein per about 100 calories. And I think that you'll find that your snacking will also be something that is helping to add to your total protein for the day. Like I think most of what you eat in the day, a good percentage of it, should be fairly functional. Like what is something you can kind of throw out the window, and it can be a little bit of, there's probably not a lot of wiggle room for that if you're already heavy at the moment.
Mm-hmm. What's your guys' stance on like some alternatives? So my like go-to, I like fizzy drinks. So it's either going to be like club soda or whatever the fuck it's called, soda water, or like a 0 calorie soda. I think those are fine, but then you can kind of get lost into the other things where, like, again, Mark, you were just saying like some of these other companies, they make fake health. Just because a label says like, oh, it's keto friendly, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be low calorie and stuff like that. But I was watching my boy Nick Exercise for Cheats YouTube channel, and he was doing a review on a company called Nix. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
The N-I-X?
And ice cream.
Yeah, it's like an N-I-C-K, but it's exclamation point.
I'm familiar with it.
So,
it's delicious.
I haven't even tried it, but I did go get some because we went grocery shopping. They make like ice cream sandwiches, and the whole sandwich is only like 300 calories or something. It looks phenomenal. I got them, but I was just looking at it and I was just like, man, like, yes, it's if I was even going to eat ice cream, it would be better to go with this ice cream. But I ended up making yogurt with Within You protein and threw some blackberries in there. It's fucking phenomenal. Highly recommend it, because in my opinion, yeah, if you are if you have a lot of weight to lose, making those alternatives, I think, is just like a no-brainer. Like if you have to have it, you should go for it. If you're in a position like me where it's like, well, shit, summer's coming up, I would like to see a little bit more ab definition. Swapping those things out is going to kind of get me there. Getting rid of them completely will get me there a little bit quicker, if that makes sense. But in general,
yeah, it also might derail you, though, right? If you're trying to be too strict, right?
Right. Yeah.
Remember our guy Bruce that came on to and he's actually been in the Discord on the
accountability
side.
Bruce.
And Bruce is like, he's moving forward right now. He's back on it. But he said, he managed to lose 100 pounds. Actually, was it 100 pounds?
He lost a lot. He went from like
330 to 230, then 230 to 380.
Yeah.
Right?
And then before, I keep forgetting, dude, but shout out to Jordy Scholes. He dropped us a super chat on an episode now at this point, like a couple episodes ago. So sincerely appreciate that. And this is what he said. He said, Mark, you are one of the reasons I got into lifting years ago. Now I'm starting my own personal training business. Thank you again, brother. So that's pretty fucking cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Sorry, I should keep forgetting, and I just wanted to throw that in there now.
But I want to mention Bruce, right? He lost the weight, but the thing is like he had a lot of it was too restrictive. And I get the aspect of wanting to stay away from certain things so you don't open the floodgates, but there's also a level of allowing, like your Nick's ice cream. Can you responsibly allow this ice cream in without it going too hard? Like, is it good enough to give you that taste that you're looking for, but you're not going to end up having 3 barrels? Because a Ben & Jerry's pint is like 1,000 calories. Or 800 to 1,000 calories. I can put that down. So that's definitely not good, right? But this Nick's stuff, it's a healthier option.
Yeah, on the high end for the peanut butter cup, because I'm going to get the peanut butter cup flavor, it was 370 calories for the whole thing. And so I'm like, even if I lose my shit and I eat the whole thing, I'm still going to be okay.
It's 2 of these in terms of caloric amount.
Yeah, and those have way more protein.
Way more protein.
These, I mean, moderate protein. It was a more calorie thing, but yeah, I was just curious, like for people listening, like what's your guys' stance on those sort of things?
Better is better, so whatever way you got to figure that out. Sometimes from a financial standpoint, it might be difficult because
they are expensive.
A lot of these things can be pricey.
That's another good thing, though.
But it's a positive in a way. It's almost like a tax, it's like a chubby guy tax. You can look at it that way. It's get a little bit harder to have access to it all the time. Something that I like to do and I like to practice is I like to have some stuff in my house that allows me to occasionally eat a lot more calories than normal. Could be something as minor as like cheese, and it could be something as or it could be something that's loaded with even more calories, like heavy cream. I'll buy some of these things here and there, but it's pretty sporadically. I'll go through it, then I won't have it for a bit. So I'll go through time periods where I eat a lot more calories just because of my food choices. These are still things that play into my diet, though. I was thinking like even just a couple days, like every once in a while, I just get hungry. I'm like, I'm fucking hungry. I don't know if it's like bored. I don't know if it's real hunger or fake hunger or what it is. But you guys see me like, I went from 330 down to like 270 and down to like 250. And then now I've been like 240, 230. Now I'm like pushing into these like 220 numbers. Like it's not uncomfortable for me, but it's new territory for me as an adult. So it's like, it's a little weird to navigate. So I'm like, just fucking relax. If you're hungry, fucking eat. Don't be a crazy person about it. Fucking eat. And don't even worry. Like if for a couple days, like you puff up a little bit, you get a little bigger, you're a little stronger, you're a little this or that. Who gives a fuck? You're still on course. You're still following the plan. And allow it to have a little play. Allow it to have a little bit of wiggle room. But I think it's really important for individuals to understand two things. One is, can you be a person that plays in the gray area, or are you very black and white about what it is that you do? Secondarily, if you are saying that you're a black and white person, start to work on trying to reframe that a bit, because maybe you can work on that. I'm not the kind of person that can just eat a couple. Could you be? Could you be? Could you go to an afternoon barbecue with friends and family, fuck up on your diet, drink a bunch of booze, have ice cream cake because it's somebody's birthday or whatever, and then could you go on your merry way and be back on your diet when you go home? It's probably something you could work on. Maybe you don't enjoy that. Maybe that's not what you normally do. But isn't that what this show is about? Isn't that what trying to advance yourself and trying to be the Uberman, Superman, we're trying to grow, right? Like trying to get better. So it's like any negative connotation that we have towards ourselves that holds us into this box and restricts us and doesn't allow for growth, we need to fucking work on getting rid of that. So I have been in that same boat where I'm like, I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, well, maybe I can be. Like, it's a challenge, right? Can you eat just one chip? Bet your ass I can. I can fucking figure that out. I can eat just one chip. Am I going to be able to really practice that on a daily basis? It's going to be very difficult for me. So you do have to know yourself. So you don't want to put yourself in these compromising positions all the time, but can you be better at that particular thing than you have been in the past? And I would say, if you're being honest with yourself, I think you can be.
And I want to say this too, like you're mentioning, when you're hungry, eat. I understand that, and I agree with that. But there's two sides to that. If you're trying to make a big transformation, if you're trying to drop a bunch of body fat and potential weight, but you notice that you're making the bad choice in terms of the foods that you're actually eating. If you're binging on a lot of unhealthy food, processed foods, etc. If you're going out to eat a lot.
When I eat, it's not very like fancy. Like I'm eating like carnivore crisps.
And that's
so I'm not reaching for Doritos.
And that's the thing. If you can drop the idea that you're trying to lose this weight super fast, right? And you can focus on the different like food habits. You and I will eat a lot, but we'll eat a lot of steak. We'll eat a lot of these nutrient dense foods that make us full. That's the difference. If you can get into the habit of eating a lot of high caloric foods that are making you eat a crazy amount, and you can get into the habit of eating more whole foods, potentially even like fruits, like apples, etc., and you can get into eating that. Don't worry about the weight for a bit, but just change your eating habits. What's going to happen over time is you're actually going to start to drop weight because those foods are going to make you feel more full. They're more nutrient dense, right? And then through that, you could do this with or without tracking, but through that, by eating real food, you will start to see the results of that. Because you're not the person that tends to binge on Ben & Jerry's ice cream, that binges on pizza, etc. You don't focus on those. You eat food that you make at home, but you eat a lot of it. You're gonna have a limiter. Like, you're gonna get full. But I tell you, I could eat a whole fucking pizza if I chose to, and that's like 2,025 potential 100 calories. I could finish that, but I couldn't do that with steak and eggs and potatoes. I can't do that with that food.
14 slices of pizza when Furious Pete was out here.
Let's go.
I surprised myself because I don't normally like eat. When I was younger, I definitely could pack away some food that you guys seen me eat and stuff. Like, it's not like this miraculous thing, but I was like, that was pretty good, man. 14 slices of pizza.
Do you remember where the pizza was from?
Yeah, it was from Paisano's Pizza in Davis, which is like, kind of those full, just kind of like New York style pizza thingies.
Oh, okay. So biggins.
Dude, I've done whole pizzas before.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
The whole XL pizzas, I've done
I grew
that.
up eating that. That was my diet, was pizza.
But the way it's put together in terms of the flour, the cheese, right? The way it's made in a way that you can just keep putting that down.
Even done anything remotely close to that recently? Like in the last... I know you went to like sushi one time and you hammered some sushi, but like...
But that was the only meal I had.
Oh, well, there you go, yeah.
You see, like we'll talk a little bit about fasting soon, but like if I do that, if I do choose to have like a lot of sushi or something, or let's say I go to one of those one of those places where you can build your own pizza and I put all the meat on it, Blaze or any of those spots where I put all the meat on it, that's usually the only meal I potentially have other than maybe having some extra protein during my day. So all of this is still pretty damn
John
structured.
Cena shit right there. That's the kind of stuff he would do. And then like he had all these weird rules, but I think he was like making them up as he went along, just like to fuck with everybody. But he would be like, dude, what are you talking about? You eat healthy. You just downed a giant fucking pizza. He goes, yeah, but it had a lot of protein on it because it had a lot of meat on it. And then he would tell somebody like, you're wasting your time. And like, why are they wasting their time? Because they would eat chips or like fries or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, that's a waste of time. There's no protein in that, bro. Like, you can't have time for that.
John's right.
Meanwhile, he's downing ice cream. He's like, I'm like, there's not that much protein in ice cream. What are you talking about?
Still
This
is
is from the milk.
protein. Yeah. I did it recently at Fat Burger. They just opened up a Fat Burger in Elk Grove. So I'm like, I got to try it out. So
I've never had Fat Burger. Is it good?
So yes, but so didn't eat here, went home, had to take my daughter to the dentist. So I ended up walking while she was in there. She was with her mom, so not by herself. But that was my first meal today. And so it was close to like 6. And they have like the regular, like blah, blah, blah. And then they have like the XL, the double XL, and the triple XL. When you eat the triple XL, you get your picture on the wall.
Damn.
I took it to go, but I inhaled that fucker. It was so good. It was 3 big ass patties, cheese.
Wait, you get your picture on the wall?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I don't know exactly like the stipulation. There's like a time thing. Whatever it is, I could definitely get on there. Like, because, yeah. But that was the last thing where I kind of went nuts on.
We need to get up on that wall.
I want my picture on that fucking wall.
We could all do it easily.
Let's go get our pictures on that wall.
Honestly, I think Nsima could probably do 2 of those.
I'm down.
Because they're like, I did it pretty comfortably with bread and everything, fries. Like it was cakewalk.
I think Nsima could have been a professional eater.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, I could have. I easily.
Did your mom used to get pissed at you about it?
Pissed?
Like every once in a while, was she just like, there's not like
Nsima, leave food for the rest of your family.
Yeah, I told you the granola bars and all that type of shit.
Yeah.
We'd go through cereal really fast. We'd go through granola bars really fast because my sister was there too. I'd be like, I didn't eat it all. Nsima did too. I mean, it was all me.
It was definitely you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't keep cereal in the house.
Yeah, done.
Sometimes it will infiltrate. Like Stephanie's parents will like bring some over or whatever. Last time they brought 2 boxes of Lucky Charms, they were gone that day. I literally ate a whole one by myself. Stephanie ate the other one. Like we cannot keep it in the house.
But
she didn't do it in one sitting like I did.
Yeah, cereal's a great example. Like we all love it.
yeah,
Like I mean, I don't really know anybody that doesn't really like cereal. They usually can find some type of cereal that they like.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I'm grateful for with my children is they're really not, from what I can see from them at the moment, being 18 and 14, they're not addicted to food. Like Quinn, I take her to volleyball. Volleyball was like 7 to 9 o'clock. And she ate when she got home from school at like 5.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't eat another thing until she ate breakfast this morning. She does that all the time. I'm like, I ask her, I'm like, you want something, And she's like, nah, it's too late. It was like too late at night. I don't want to eat anything.
But they have good models.
Yeah,
I wonder,
yeah,
like you and Andy, when you guys have been eating in the house, y'all always been good models of eating, right?
Yeah, and we talk openly about it. We talk about like eating protein. We talk about these things. I'm not trying to like, do anything crazy. We have, which I ate 2 of those fuckers the other day. That got me. So there's another good lesson with those sweet and salty. What are those fucking things? Like the peanut ones.
The bars?
Yeah.
Is it the ones with the is it the
sure.
That's what it's called. Sweet and salty. Like they're kind of like granola bars.
I know what you're talking about. They're like stuck together.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel left out. I don't know what you're talking
They're really
about.
good.
It was so funny too, because I'm sitting there and I'm like just chilling. I'm like watching TV. I'm trying to catch up on some like messages on my phone and stuff. And then I'm like, you should go get a couple of those things. And I was like, nah, just go get a tasty pastry, dude, and it'll be over and you'll be
like
fine.
You had a devil and an angel.
Yeah. And I was like, nice. So I ate a tasty pastry and I sat back down.
Perfect.
And then a couple minutes later, started calling again.
Came roaring.
Come on, Mark, just have one.
And I'm like, dude, you ran today and you lifted,
You definitely can like give yourself all the reasons that you deserve it. Yeah.
Mark. You worked hard today, Mark. Just have one.
You're over here being super dad. Andy's not even around. She's doing God knows what in the Virgin Islands.
It's like you need the extra energy, Mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're doing a lot
So
on
I
your plate.
fucking caved and I ate 2 of them. And now you guys see
Why
the
you're
effects.
Yeah,
why I'm so fat today.
your
is 'cause of
face
that.
is a little chunky today.
See?
You can see it. Yeah,
I know. I knew
You're
it.
retaining a lot of water.
Made me look older. I'm back to looking old as fucking
You're
dirt.
insane.
But that's the thing, yo. If you have this goal that you're trying to get to, right, and you keep making the mistakes, like Mark, you're already there. You have a level of self-control. I'm where I want to be. I have a level of self-control, so I can allow
And I
these
think
things.
sometimes people think that if they got to a position where they were able to manage their body fat real well, that they would be like, I'm good.
No.
I'm good. I get to
I'm
like
done.
kind of,
I'm
I get to
celebrating.
kind of, or if they got to a financial level and it's
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah.
But think about it in terms of like learning and stuff like that. Whatever it is you're passionate about, you're a mechanic, you're you fix computers or like whatever the fuck it is that you're into, photography. Are you ever going to stop like wanting to learn that thing? Are you ever going to want to stop to try to get better and try to improve? So, and then also when it comes to your like metabolism, maybe you could say Nsima's metabolism is revved up pretty good right now because the amount of muscle that you have and your caloric burn and the amount of stuff that you do every day. But what if there's moments where you stop doing some of those things? What if some of those habits disappear for a little while? What if you start eating differently? It's like all that stuff that you worked for and you put all this time and energy into, over time, just like for anybody else, it will dissipate.
Yes.
And it will continue to get worse. So it's like we have to always kind of work on it. We have to always sharpen it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So one thing I want to talk about too, and we talked about this in the prior Habits to Get Jacked Without Tracking episode, is protein. So we always figure out different ways to get a good amount of protein throughout the day. For example, I know I mentioned that I fast quite a bit, but like in my coffee in the morning, I'll have some This Is the Way. I mean, I did that in the prior podcast. I had some This Is the Way vanilla. I have some collagen protein. I'll put a salted caramel electrolyte. Tastes fucking bomb. A lot of people are gonna be like, oh, you're not intermittent fasting. Technically, I'm not intermittent fasting, but number one, I got a bunch of protein in and I had the caffeine. It's somewhat of an appetite suppressant. I'm not really feeling the need to go eat a big old meal for hours. It's almost 2:00 right now.
Yeah, we did 2 podcasts, and throughout those 2 podcasts, you had 40 grams of protein on both of them. You got 80 grams of protein down the hatch already.
Right? And I'm good until this evening. I'm probably going to have one meal this evening, right? But it's you can figure out different ways to get just protein in through the day. Like if we talk about fasting, some days I don't have that protein in the morning, but I'm going to be doing that quite a bit because I want to get that collagen protein in. But it's just a tactic that'll allow me to get through my day without feeling the need to go eat a ravenous amount of food or a crazy amount of food, right? So you can utilize caffeine, you can utilize different things, but these are just strategies to allow you to not be so food focused. Because although we all like to eat, I am not nearly as food focused as I used to be in the past. In the past, it'd be like I'd eat breakfast, then I'd need a snack, and then I'd be ravenous for lunch, and then I'd be ravenous for dinner. I was always focusing on my next meal. I don't give a fuck about my next meal. I know it's going to come, and I'm going to eat it later, but it's going to be something at home. I'm going to have some steak, I'm going to have some eggs, maybe something else. But these are tactics to allow you to get through your day.
I think you want to try to figure out, how do I make some of these things easier? And so even though we were kind of mentioning like not snacking, it's also totally understandable and reasonable that at the end of the day, when you feel like your work has been done, which everybody always feels like they work very hard, there's a sense of like maybe accomplishment, a sense of like celebration, a sense of, I mean, let's just kind of face it. Like you get home and you're like, man, I'm exhausted. You know, these are all words that I've tried to like burn out of my brain because I think it's pussy stuff, you know. But but it's factual, right? Like we all kind of feel the weight of each individual day, and depends on the day. Like I didn't even come in the other day because we had Kalipa and everybody in that day, and it was like a really high stimulus day. And the night before I was up late, and I was like, I actually just need to face the facts that I need to just chill. That's going to be the most beneficial thing I can do. Get a lot of sleep and just relax. And that's something we can get into a little bit more in a couple of minutes. But I happen to like some things that are healthy. Not everybody loves healthy-ish stuff, but I like cottage cheese. I like yogurt a lot. So I try to surround myself with things that I feel. Now, like, I'm not going to wake up in the middle of the night with an urge to eat cottage cheese. And I'm not going to wake up first thing in the morning being like, oh my God, I can't wait to have cottage cheese. Meanwhile, you might wake up in the morning and be pumped to have some Cocoa Pebbles or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah. You might be excited, you know, if you get home from work and you're like, oh yeah, I have that thing of fucking Ben and Jerry's in the freezer, and you're really excited about it. So these other foods you don't get quite as excited about, but I found that if you surround yourself with them, and I get done with dinner, and like anybody else, I feel like a day was stressful, then I'm like, oh yeah, have that yogurt in the fridge. I'm like, I'm going to mix that yogurt with some berries. It's going to be fucking awesome. I'm going to sit down and eat it. Maybe I'll have it with a protein shake. Maybe I'll mix the vanilla protein shake in with everything else, and it tastes fucking delicious. So a recommendation for you guys is there's a cottage cheese called Good Culture Cottage Cheese. They have a strawberry one, a blueberry one, and a pineapple one. All of them have about 3 grams of carbohydrate. They might have like an artificial sweetener or something, or they might use like a fruit thing or something. I forget exactly what in the hell is in there, but very modest calories. It's the majority, a lot of the calories are coming from protein. There's some fat in there too, but not a lot. So I usually get that, and I actually will get the full fat cottage cheese as well. And I sometimes mix a little bit of both of them together. I use this as the whey vanilla protein. I mix it in there, and I mix it in with some fruit, some blueberries, some strawberries, and it is fucking incredible.
And this is not a joke. Like when you say it's incredible, I know it's not the same as the milkshake that you made with This Is the Way the other day, but like that milkshake that you made.
That was fucking ridiculous, right?
This is the thing. It's like, you know, in the pint when your thing would have been like, pint of Ben and Jerry's. Now you have the same feeling towards something that is protein rich. It has a good amount of nutrients because of the berries, the fruits, and all that, and it's good for you. And it's like you look forward to that. So as you take these things out that aren't good for you that you look forward to, you input things that are fucking really good.
Fruit is delicious. I mean, even like the tests on whether things actually taste good or not are children. You know, if you give a kid like a little bit of beer, they're going to spit that shit out. Give him the finest wine. Oh, this is my favorite bottle of wine. And pour that little fucker some red wine. He's gonna shoot it out the side of his nose. You know, he's like, that's the most disgusting thing ever.
It's too earthy. I need something more fruity.
But kids, they love fruit. Like find a particular fruit for each kid. Like maybe they don't all love the same exact fruit, but go through some different types of fruit and you'll find that they love it. And adults are the same way. Like, we like fruit. It tastes really good. So, try to mix in some of these things that we're talking about. I think the Good Culture cottage cheese is a really good way to go. Sometimes yogurt can be riddled with a lot of like sugar. So just kind of just pay attention to some of that. And if you like the ones that have sugar and have flavor to them, that's fine. But I would try to lean towards getting the ones that still have a good amount of protein. There's Greek yogurts and Icelandic yogurts that still are spiked pretty good with protein in them.
And I want to add, like, with the yogurt thing, like, first off, this is the way vanilla is really fucking good. It's really fucking good. I've mixed the vanilla and chocolate, also really good. I like milk sometimes, right? So I'll use some milk. I'll use some Greek yogurt. I'll add the vanilla.
I'm gonna buy you some raw whole milk.
That shit's really good. I purchased it once. It is so good.
Holy fuck, man. Unbelievable.
But that's the thing. If number one, I think that one of the reasons why we can talk about this, or we do talk about this, is number one, we don't eat throughout the whole day, because that whole milk has a bit of calories, right?
And lots of fat.
But when you're not eating through the whole day, that's one of those things where you can have it. It has a lot of protein. It's kind of calorie packed, but it's actually good for you.
Well, and how much milk are you going to use in a shake anyway?
Exactly.
Like 200 calories worth? I don't know.
You can, but if you don't want to use a crazy amount of milk, you could use some of that milk, and you could use some water. The milk can add some thickness, right? You can then add in the protein. You could also, like, the collagen protein's unflavored, and you literally have a protein bomb that tastes really fucking good that you're looking forward to, but also helps you head towards your goals. These are just other options, but these options will lead you towards where you're trying to get, rather than the processed food that we're talking about that you tend to binge on, that's taking away, making you feel like you failed on your diet, making you feel like diets don't work, right? These are just healthier options to help you move in the right direction.
Yeah, I would say try the cashew milk. That shit's really good.
There you go.
Oh, I've never had cashew milk, but I was also...
It's really good. So, like, almond milk can be almost like a little watery.
Yeah.
The unsweetened one, it's like 30 calories. The cashew one's a little bit thicker. And it just has a little bit better flavor, in my opinion. It's only 25 calories per serving.
I'm so obsessed with this nut milk.
Yeah, lots of, I'm going to have to sneak in a nut eventually every day. I have to.
Nah, it's funny. My girl drinks almond milk, and I had almond milk with the protein shake. I was like, this is actually
it's good.
Kind of good.
Yeah, it's good.
Pretty damn good. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're not a milk lover, there you go. Cashew milk.
Cashew milk's really good. One thing that I'm noticing, so like I've been just eating a bunch of eggs every morning. And you guys know, like, I've messed around with a lot of these fun recipes where I'll have like anabolic French toast, which is very high in protein, extremely low in fat, and moderate carbs, because it's only like 4 slices of toast or bread.
Yeah.
But what I noticed with that stuff, and if you guys remember, like during this time, like you would see me in the break room or even at the old podcast table eating more food throughout the day. Like I'd have a big old bowl of like salad, right? And just throw a bunch of chicken in there, or chicken and rice, because I got really hungry really fast.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that one way is better than the other, because it's fun to eat food. It's fun to, instead of eating one 800 calorie plate, you eat 2 separate 400 calorie ones that are going to be different, because it's fun to have variety. But I did notice that I would get like really, really hungry when the fat was really low. And then now, like I said, I'm having 8 eggs and about 1.5 cups of rice every morning. And that gets me throughout the whole day. Now I
8 whole eggs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice, man.
When I was trying to get up to 10, because I'm like, let's just see how far I can take this. 9, I was like sweating. I was just like, this is the limit. 8 is perfect because I feel great. And then I will have the Bubs MCT oil powder and collagen protein, and that really pushes the hunger like way down the road. So like now I'm not going to eat till I get home. But one thing though is like I had to experiment, and I had to find out for myself that like, oh shit, man, I have to be careful. If I eat the low fat stuff, I'm going to have to eat again very soon, because if not, I'm going to get kind of hungry. And then that's when I start, your defense is up for only so long. And then if that fucking hunger starts beating down your defense, then you're going to be like, you know what? All right, I will have a little bit of this. I will have a little bit of that. And it's just, I don't know. It's just not productive. So like, I just think that's something that we all need to think about when it comes to like, because there's a shit ton of YouTubers that are making some really awesome dishes, but they are like more on the bodybuilder side, that are lower in fat, which I love them. I've made a lot of them. I'm going to make them again. But for right now, I'm trying the more higher fat side of things so like I do I call it like a split fast. It's not fasting. People on the YouTubes are always like, it's not fasting. Like I just stop eating. I'll have breakfast and I'll have dinner and then I'll have the yogurt and like fruit after, and that's it. So I'm eating really twice to 2.5 times every day. And if you look at the calorie breakdown, it's going to be somewhere close to where if I was eating like 5 times a day, it's just I'm eating 2 fat ass meals that are fucking delicious. Mm-hmm. It's a really cool place to be. And I've been doing it for a couple months now, and I can definitely see like a better image in the mirror. And I'm like, okay, let's keep this shit going. Especially after the cold plunge. This is something you guys never talked about. When you're shivering, I'm like, oh shit, look at my delts. And I'm like, ooh, my abs are pumping. Like, oh, this is nice. And then, look down even further and it's like, oh, okay.
Whoops.
Look down too far.
Bye, wee wee.
Yeah, it's gone. But yeah, anyway.
Suddenly turned into a woman. I have no penis.
It went inside out.
Where did it go? Is it tucked away somewhere?
Your dick's like, yo, that's cold.
Like, I hope it's thinking about me. I'm thinking about it.
God dang it.
But anyway, yeah, the high fat stuff. So Mark and Nsima are definitely more on the lower carb side of things. Not that they don't eat them. I always thought like, oh, I want more volume. I want to get as much fucking, salad and cauliflower and all kinds of other shit in my system just so that way I could feel fuller. But it's like, it's almost like filling up your gas tank with like cheap gas, because like you'll fill up the whole tank, but then you're going to burn through it way faster. And so with this stuff, it's like, okay, maybe I got half a tank, but that tank's going to last me all day.
Remember, fatigue makes cowards of us all, so if you start to get tired, your decision-making skills suck. Yeah. So this is where people get weird about sleep and sleep habits and all those different kinds of things. And people are wearing those weird orangey yellow glasses. But I've found that those things help. I wear an eye mask. I also have mouth tape on. So it's like every night to go to sleep is like a thing. Now I got the cold plunge.
Do you cold plunge at night?
I do both. I've been messing around with a little bit in the morning, late afternoon, at night.
Yeah.
Last night I just set the thing as low as I could possibly get it, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go in and just see what the fuck happens. And I told Jake too. I'm like, hey man, I've never tried this before, so I was like, I might text you that I'm like dying or something.
You really did?
Yeah, I did. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I was fine though, but
how long did you stay in there?
Oh, just a couple minutes. Like I don't know, like maybe 2.5, 3 minutes.
Dude, that's good.
I don't know how you guys do it for real. I'm struggling.
It was I think it's like 40 degrees. It said 39, but it wouldn't go down. It wouldn't get any colder because because I have mine inside. It actually makes the room really warm, which is actually really interesting.
The chiller's like working, so it's like
the room is like noticeably warm. Like maybe the room's like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay, damn.
That fucking motor on there works that good. But yeah, you start to implement all these different things, but they're all things that like, hey, if this is going to be helpful, I'm going to try to implement as many of these things as I can. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always work great. Like my day is very like flexible, especially because I have children. Last night, Jake's like, hey, let's watch this movie. And we watched that documentary, the grizzly bear guy or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not going to pass that up. Like next year, he's going to probably be out and like, he'll just be with his friends or be going to school or whatever the hell he gets himself into. And I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to hang out with him. So, what am I going to do? I got to go to bed because I got to be prepared to work out tomorrow. Like, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, you get to work, you work out every day. Like, and you'll find more time for that stuff. So, I like my day to be very, very flexible. So I don't always get to bed the exact same time. Could be doing something with my daughter or my wife or my son. So I have to be a little flexible with some of that. But I still have some of these things that I implement that assist me to go to sleep and that assist me with getting better sleep.
I really have to try plunging at night. I typically just cold plunge in the morning when I get up, and that gets me fucking going.
I've done it once at night, and I got bad sleep that night. It could have just been a lot going on, but in the mornings, so after I do it and then I warm up, I could see like I'm like woo, and then once I get warm, I'm just like ooh. So I think maybe if I do that at night it might be better.
A lot of people have talked about using it before they go to sleep, because your body temperature, you have to work on bringing it back up or something.
Yeah.
Which can actually aid you in falling asleep better. And in the morning, like I'm shivering for a few hours after I cold plunge in the morning. And that's actually, there's a good metabolic effect to that.
Yeah.
It speed up your metabolism. It does help you burn that brown, stubborn fat. But it's a fucking amazing tool. So, Andrew, how can they get their hands on a cold plunge?
Yeah, it's the cold plunge, right? Hold on, let me just really quick. Thecoldplunge.com.
Congrats to them guys too. They were on Shark Tank.
Yeah, I know. I got to watch that. But so thecoldplunge.com, check out all their different cold plunges. We use the XLs because we're bigger. Well, they are, and I fit in one too.
I have to say real quick about that XL, because I had the normal cold plunge, which is cool,
Which is great. Yeah.
But if you're taller, like if you're Andrew, how tall are you? Like 6 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're like 5'10", 5'11", you're gonna want to be in the XL, because like you'll really be able to stretch your feet out, dunk yourself. It's really comfortable.
Yeah,
you could actually get in there with 2 people if you wanted to.
I can't right now, but yeah, promo code PowerProject at checkout to save a shit ton of money. But one thing I was gonna say, every time I get in it, I'm like, oh, mine broke. Mine's broken because it went to like beyond the coldest setting that it has, because this is just shockingly cold. I'm just being a bitch though, because like I'm still getting used to it. It's actually still set at like I think 59 degrees right now, so it's still on the higher end. Yeah, but yeah, finally dunking my head in there and like getting used to that. But I'm shivering like crazy.
70 degrees has a little chill to it, you know, like if you're just jumping in like a lake or something, and it's like 65 to 70 degrees. That feels pretty cold.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do like. I like. This morning, I almost didn't do it because I'm just like, this is stupid. Like, this is fucking dumb. Like, why am I going to do this to myself again? And then I ended up doing it. And then there's like a weird moment that like, once you kind of get in there and you're sitting, like a little bit of like euphoria, like you're just like, I did it. Like I won. Nobody can take this away from me. Yeah. And then you're just like, the sun starts peeking in and I'm just like, oh, this is great. It happens every day, and then I get out feeling like $1 million.
It's an amazing tool. It's an amazing tool. I can't wait for more people to get their hands on it.
Yeah, right here in Sacramento too.
Right here in Sacramento. But so since we're talking about water, let's talk about liquid calories real quick.
Thank you. Yes.
Like I know we're talking about drinking protein shakes and like milk and adding that in, but when people drink soda or when people drink juice or even alcohol during the day, it's not like a protein shake. It's not like, you're not like, I'm going to pump 5 protein shakes. No, but you will pump 5 glasses of juice, 5 glasses of soda, and that sugar and those carbohydrates will add up to a lot during your day. So we really don't fuck with liquid calories. We always suggest that find other options. We love diet soda, although some people are like, you're going to get cancer.
Right? Yeah, zero sugar. The Coke Zeros are amazing. The A&W Zero is incredible.
Have you tried Fresca yet?
I still have not. No, dude, I'm such a big fan.
Yeah, Fresca. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm not hating on it. It's just, dude, like I'll have to send a picture. Like my garage has a bunch of the cans of A&W, and then I have a closet inside the house, and it's just flooded with A&W sodas. Yeah. Like every time I go to Walmart, I just buy a fuck ton of them.
That's the way to do it, though, is to like surround yourself with options. And if you go to the grocery store and you're paying attention, there's a shit ton of options. There's a shit ton of better options than we've ever seen before. So that we know there's like delicious foods that are convenient and inexpensive, and they call to you. Like we all fall victim to that. But there's a lot of food. Every single aisle has another option, whether it's pizza with Quest Nutrition, or whether it's ice cream. Every single category that you look at has like a lighter version, has like almost like a protein version. There's some sort of other version of literally just about every single thing you can think of. Yeah. So you can kind of continue to, eat those foods that you've always eaten, or you can just make a small. We're not trying to like completely change you. We're just trying to steer you.
We're trying to change you.
Yeah. Well, ultimately,
without telling you.
Well, ultimately, it will change you a lot, because you're going to pick up these habits, over a period of time. But in the very beginning, it's just it's just a little steering, right? It's just like, hey, let's try this Coke Zero instead of this regular Coke.
Yeah, perfectly said. But I didn't even really think about that. But yeah, every single aisle has something. You could literally be looking at sugar, and then off to the side, there's Splenda. Like, It's like, oh, 0 calorie sweetener, sick, I'll do that. I'm even eating this 45 calorie bread. Whoa. This 45 calorie bread, Sara Lee, it's fucking delicious. It's only 90 calories for both slices. So like if I do run out of rice, I have another backup of bread. You know, it's bread. It's fucking delicious.
Yeah.
Like who doesn't want that?
And I want to add in on the liquid calorie side of thing. Number one, we've talked about how big of a difference electrolytes make on your performance. We notice that drastically. But when you're electrolyte deficient, you're drinking water through the day. If you don't have adequate electrolytes, you're going to feel thirstier. So when we have electrolytes, I've noticed that electrolytes makes a difference for my hunger because I'm not, like I sweat through the day, I exercise, right? It makes a difference for my hunger. So what I'll do is I usually have one of the salted caramel electrolytes in my coffee in the morning. I did that this morning. And then I'll have some other, I'll sometimes mix some of the salted caramel electrolytes in some water with some Diet Coke or with some Fresca or with some Fresca. It's really fucking good. Like it's really fucking good because some people are so concerned over diet soda. They're like, ooh, drink too much diet soda, your gut. I don't really get the gut issues, but if you want to have some diet soda and you're really concerned and you don't want to drink a crazy amount of it, you could mix it into some of this stuff. Now, don't do the electrolytes right into soda because it'll fizz too much. So I do electrolytes and then water, mix that up, and then I add some either Diet Coke or Diet Sunkist or Fresca, and it's a fucking blast, right? But there's electrolytes in it. It's good for me. It's leading me towards my goals. One last thing about the Diet Coke and soda, pay attention to the caffeine. Okay, so Diet Sunkist, Diet Coke, maybe I don't know about the root beer, but they have caffeine in them.
Root beer is caffeine free. That's why I like
caffeine free. Good. Fresca's caffeine free too. But we always talk about sleep, and we'll talk about that more in another episode about this. But keep the caffeine diet sodas out of like past 3 or 4 p.m. if you can.
Yeah.
Because again, we're doing all this stuff, but we also want to make sure that we get good sleep, as that's where a lot of our recovery comes. And that's going to be the thing that allows us to feel good and refreshed the next day.
Yeah. Earlier in the day might be cool because like we like coffee because it does help with the caffeine, you know, helps push that fast out there. But yeah. Along with everything, you know, we were talking about making things harder. So like if you do want ice cream, don't keep it in the house, like go buy it or whatever, but like do the opposite too. Like I love fruit with my yogurt. It's like, but I'll buy fresh yogurt or fresh, you know, berries and stuff, and it always goes bad. And then I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to eat it, period. So I just started buying frozen ones. And then when it's ready to go, I just pull it out of the freezer and microwave it. I know that's like adding another step, but I'm making it easier to get those, like that flavor. Cause I truly don't give a fuck about like the antioxidants and all this other bullshit. I was like, oh, it's low calorie and it tastes good. All right, I'm going to load up on that. So yeah, the healthier options, again, keeping the low calorically but dense food. That's my shit.
Like I said, there's so many options. You guys have tried the Porking Good pork rinds, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're insane. Like there's like a salt and vinegar one. There's like a cheddar one.
They have a spicy one that made Owen and Ryan cry. It was the spicy
That's
flavor.
awesome.
It was fucking good though. Yeah.
Yeah, they got it's incredible. And these carnivore crisps, and there's like biltong type stuff out there now. Our sponsor Piedmontese, they sell that along with these amazing beef sticks that they have. So I mean, there's just a lot of options. I think that I don't know. I think we're a little trapped in our thoughts about what snacks are. So definitely years ago, I would definitely tell a lot of people like, hey, just kind of completely get rid of snacks unless you're eating like a hard boiled egg or something. But or a cheese stick or something. But there's so many options nowadays.
Yeah.
So just keep looking, keep searching, and then surround yourself with it. Like when I went to, I realized that Ron Penna, the owner of Tasty Pastry, who sold Quest Nutrition, I realized the guy is well off, but at his home, he had like a few rows of like Quest cookies. He had a few rows of Quest bars. He had a few rows of Tasty Pastries. And along with like a bunch of other little knick-knack, low-carb, keto stuff, because his wife's way into all that stuff. And I just thought to myself, and he had tons of diet soda, like, diet soda coming out of his ears. And I think that's that's like the new way that we need to kind of look at this stuff. So again, maybe you don't have that kind of money to get all those different, because those things can be like high priced or whatever. But can you have fruit on the counter? Can you have some good options in the fridge? Remember, we used to talk about Fairlife quite a bit. Like, that's a great product.
Yeah.
They make different kinds of milk that have less sugar in them and have more protein. They also make a core power version, which has 26 grams of protein and like 7 or 8 grams of carbs. Like there's just options for days and days if you are keeping your eyes open and you're paying attention to these things.
And understand too, because there's going to be one person who's like, but my kids love the cereal, but my kids love this. If you're not eating it, there should be no reason why your kids are. If something's not good for you, I don't get how in the hell it's going to be good
not
for your
good
child.
for your kids. It's not.
It's not.
It's just not.
Yeah,
right?
no.
So you're the one who dictates what they eat. Change it.
Mm-hmm.
There really is no excuse for that, right?
Give them alternatives.
Give them alternatives.
You don't have to say no, you can't eat that ever again, but you're going to replace it with something else. Maybe they pout or shout, or maybe they get mad, but that's just like one food item. They'll be fine. You know, maybe because you switched to a different type of pizza, maybe they just don't want to eat pizza anymore. That's fine.
That's a win.
Yeah, it's a win. Fuck it. We're not going to have pizza anymore.
I just imagine if I shout out my mom. Like,
Shit.
shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This is what we're eating.
Yeah, that's what we're eating.
There you go.
Take us on out of here, Andrew.
All righty. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. We sincerely appreciate it. Based on what we talked about today about more habits, let us know if you guys have any questions. Maybe we can do answer them on the next episode of this Habits for Getting Jacked series without tracking. I forget the actual
Habits
title.
to get jacked without tracking.
Habits to get tracking habits. There it is. Perfect.
I hate you.
All right. So please like today's video, and again, comment something down below and subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already. Follow the podcast at MB PowerProject all over the place. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. My Instagram, TikTok, Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. Nsima, where you at?
Guys, I say this every episode. Discord. Go come join us on Discord, all right? But Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube. I'm Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. Mark, where can people find you?
I have one more habit to put in there.
Let's go.
That I always think is important. Do not shop when you're really hungry.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
hell
Yeah, no,
no.
fuck that.
You're going to end up like when you go home and you unpack everything, and actually, especially once you've like eaten something, you ever just like snack on something in the car, like you open up some cheese or just eat something, you're like, fuck, I'm hungry. And then you get home and you start unpacking some stuff. You're like, what in the fuck did I buy all this
You
crap
regret
for?
what you've done so quick.
You're going to end up with some junk. So do your best to figure out ways to kind of safeguard yourself around some of those old bad habits. Another thing that's good to do is to talk to somebody that's close to you about it. Like say like, this is something I really want to do. I want to make a change. Maybe it's your significant other. Maybe it's your brother. Maybe it's a friend. Say, hey, you know what? I really am interested in doing this, and you're going to probably see me in the future make some bad choices. Tell me that I don't want to do that and explain to me why I don't want to do that, because I don't want to do that anymore. I do want to make a change. It's hard to tell somebody that. That's not an easy thing to do. It's very brave to go and do that, but sometimes trying to figure out our way out of this mess is very difficult to do on your own. Strength is never weakness. Weakness never strength. I'm at Mark Smellybell. Catch you guys later. Bye.